Hello, hello, and good morning. I am so excited to bring to you another coffee chat, right? So if you followed me for any amount of time, you know that I love my coffee. Even when I couldn't have the caffeine, right? I was still drinking coffee. So I have my cup right here. This actually is my first cup for the day. Can you believe it? It's 11 o'clock here. Things were a little bit crazy this morning. I have two kids that are not feeling well. And, they get to be a little clingy and needy, which is totally fine. But that's why I like to say I'll be on in the morning and not give you guys a certain time. So let me know as you're hopping on what's in your cup. Coffee, tea, maybe something else. Let us know. And then let me know if you guys are jumping on to the live or the recording. I want to kind of like gauge it and see who's on at certain times, things like that. So before we get started, I just want to share with you who I am, this crazy person, right? That's always, doing crazy things on this page. So, I know it's crazy. I only had one. I'm on my first cup of coffee. Can you believe it? Sorry, I'm talking really fast, but I'm really excited about what I have to share with you today. So, sorry, I'm still getting used to my short hair, or 16 inches cut off, right? So my name is Tony, and I am a stay-at-home homeschooling mom with 5 kids. Yeah, 5. I have a set of twins. We've homeschooled since day one, so it's kind of just what we do, roll with the punches, right? About 8 years ago, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease. I didn't really understand what it was. All I knew was that I had lost 45 pounds after our son was born, and all of a sudden, I was doing the exact same things, and the pounds were just piling on. And I was like, what in the world? And then I got pregnant, and we had this miscarriage, and it was just all crazy, and I realized that, can you hold on, honey? That it all just goes together with my thyroid. So it really has been a journey for me to, help come and share with others that, things are still possible with Hashimoto's or thyroid disease. It's not the end of the world. A lot of people are like, well, might as well just give up. No, I don't want you to give up. So, like I said, I had 5 kids. The last one, I was on bed rest for 5 months while homeschooling. Trinity was only 14 months old when Titus was born. So, it was almost like having twins all over again. Yep. You want to go watch a show, honey? Okay. You're all dirty. Okay. Sorry, she was outside playing and looks like the big kids just sent her in. See her face? Can you go get a towel and wipe your face, honey? Sorry, someone's trying to send a message. But where was I at? So I was on bed rest with him, and I knew what to do. I went to college for exercise science. I was going to own my own gym. I worked at a gym when I was 17, 18 years old, and I fell in love with fitness then. But the thing that really was on my heart was that it was men that would come and work out and never women. And I didn't understand why. I thought they didn't care about themselves until I became a mom and realized that you barely have 5 minutes to go to the bathroom by yourself, let alone go to the gym, right? So that's how this all got started. I fell in love with what I do because it works, okay? And that's why I'm so passionate about inviting you to join my Fit Mommy Makeover. That's why I'm so passionate about what I come to share with you. So today in our coffee chat, we are going to be talking about how your favorite coffee shop is just like coaching, right? It's just like what I do. And you don't have to be some crazy salesperson or anything like that. And so I want to really just, openly have a coffee shop conversation with you. So as you hop on and you have questions, or as you're watching the recording again and you're like, well, that didn't really make sense, or how can this work for me? And those questions that you have, I want you to put them below or send me a message and I will be happy to answer them for you. All right. So I have 4 things for you today on how your favorite coffee shop is like coaching. Let's jump into number 1. So for me, I don't know, when you go to a coffee shop, isn't it so amazing to go there for the community, whether you're meeting friends or you're just going there, you're going to read a book or work on your computer or whatever, but you're there and you just, that surrounding, the aroma in there, the atmosphere, everything is just so calming and relaxing, and it's the community, right? We love to be a part of a community. And let me tell you, as a homeschooling mom, I really lack that community. I really craved it. And I was like, how am I going to, feel fulfilled that I have those community? Yes, we go to church and we're doing these certain things, but it was hard to find other moms that I could connect with, because let's face it, it isn't like, well, the kids are in school and we can meet for lunch, right? It had to be around teaching the kids. So I couldn't just drop everything and go to the coffee shop, right? I mean, that would be great if we could always do that. Wouldn't it just meet up with our besties and like have our favorite Frappuccino with 0 calories, right? And just be able to just spend the afternoon like that. But that isn't how things work in the real world, right? So the community that you gain from coaching is amazing, because first of all, you're going to start by working on your own journey. And let me tell you, if you're doing it alone, which I did for so many years, I was like, I don't need a community. I went to college. I didn't finish, but I went to college. I was a personal trainer. I know all these things, right? And we think that we can do it on our own. Here's a little secret for you. We are not meant to do things alone, right? That's why we have children. That's why we're married. That's why we have best friends. That's why we have community. That's why we have coffee shops, right? Because we need that community. And so when I realized that once I stepped into that community to work on my health and fitness first, guess what? I was welcomed no matter what. No matter if I ate the bowl of cookie dough or if I, just stuck to my meal plan. So community is huge, because too often we think that we can do it alone, or we're ashamed of where we are and we don't want to join. All right. So that is what I love is about the community. Number 2, accountability. Accountability, right? How many of you, the same thing, like with the community, you're like, I got it. I can do all this on my own. That was me, right? I was like, I'm going to make up these amazing trackers, and I'm going to check off when I do my workouts. I'm going to check off when I do, meal prep. I'm going to just do it on my own. Maybe it's my oldest child syndrome that I don't know, but maybe you're the same way. Maybe you think, well, I can do this on my own and I don't need accountability. Same thing. We need each other, right? None of us have it all together all the time. And here's the thing. Even when I was just in the community for my fitness, for my health, I was lacking something, right? I was still lacking that little piece. I was still showing up, doing my workouts and all these things, but I was like, there's a piece of the puzzle was still missing. And when I became a coach, the light bulb went on. When I realized that the extra accountability of, not only doing my own fitness, but helping other women do the same thing, that extra layer of accountability is amazing, okay? Because there are days that I don't want to get up in the morning. There are days that I want to eat whatever I want to eat. There are days that I'm like, you know what? I worked out really hard yesterday. I'm going to take a day or 2 off, right? That is life. We're all going to feel that. But when you have your community around you, as a coach, you have all these people with you, that extra layer of accountability is what is going to change your life. And let me tell you, how many of you have ever been down in the dumps about something, but when you help lift someone else up, it changes your attitude and it changes your mood. The same goes for coaching. Those days that you don't want to work out, those days that you're like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I'm not seeing the results I want. But when you reach your hand out and you say, you know what, Sally, whatever, who's ever in your group, that is going to make a huge difference to help you to reignite your fire for accountability. So that is number 2. Number 3 is contribution, right? Okay, so like I said, I've been a stay-at-home mom for a long time. I actually have not worked in the workforce outside of the home since 2010, right? Actually, I worked at a little coffee shop for like a week when the twins were babies. And that's a whole nother story, because I was like, I can work on the days my husband's home from work because he's a firefighter, but he has a rotating schedule and blah, 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 blah. I was not going to put my kids in daycare when I was making $7 an hour. Wasn't going to work, right? So here's the deal. Being a stay-at-home, I love being a stay-at-home mom, I love being able to be there for all those milestones, when they learned to walk, when they rolled over, when they lost their tooth, when they got their first tooth, Sometimes you wish you weren't home when they're always fighting or have another blowout or, we're throwing up during the night. But what I love about what I do is that I get to be present with my kids' lives. I get to be present and teach them. And here's the other thing. This is what I was lacking for so long. I felt so guilty that my husband was working so hard and so diligent to provide for our family, working 2 jobs, that I feel like I wasn't contributing. Right? I felt like, I'm doing great with the house stuff. I'm doing great with, not really great with the house stuff all the time, because if you could see around here, it's kind of a mess. But when you have 5 kids, it's a lived-in house, right? But I felt like monetarily that I wasn't, contributing. And sometimes that gets to weigh on you, right? Finances could be a real downer at times. And I had started my little hobby crochet business, and I was going to knit, or not knit. I was crocheting hats and socks and scarves and booties and all these things. But guess what? People can go to Walmart and buy it made by a machine for $4 or $5. I can't even buy the yarn for that. So I was I'm not making a difference. I'm putting more money into this than what is, helping, and that is stressful, right? And it was taking time away from my kids because I was sitting there Okay, so I love crocheting as a hobby, but not as a business, right? So the thing that I love about what I do now is that, first of all, we're in this coffee shop together, right? We all are, doing our own workouts. We all have a different flavor of coffee, right? Maybe for you it's, yoga. Maybe for someone else it's weights or whatever. And we can mix it up every once in a while. But we have this community where we're together. We're, holding each other accountable, and we're contributing, okay? And what do I mean by that? Is that maybe you're like me and you're like, I struggle to pay for groceries. I really want to get healthy, but those ramen noodles are way cheaper than buying a bag of apples, right? I've been there, ladies. I've been there, okay? I know that the struggle is real, and I don't want to just dismiss that. But I want you to know there's a way out. Because literally, it was not too long ago that I was that mama at the checkout with my 5 kids in tow. I'm sure they looked pretty muffinish, right? Their hair's all crazy, probably had dirty face, just like you saw a minute ago. And I was at the checkout, and they're like, I'm sorry, ma'am, but your card's declined. And I'm sure I turned a few shades of red, and I was panicking. You know when you dig through your purse and your wallet, and you're like, I know I have $1 million in here. Where is it? Where is it? Right? When really you don't, but you're trying to stall, and you're like, oh my goodness, what do I put back? Do I put back the diapers? Well, I hope not, because we just had a bunch of blowouts. So, do we put back the meat for this month? Or do we put back milk? It wasn't it wasn't sweets and cookies and those types of things. So that was very gut-wrenching and embarrassing, not only seeing these other moms seeing me, but your own kids seeing that you could not provide and you were not being able to give them the foods and the nutrients that they needed. So let me tell you something. My very first contribution to my family because of coaching was $19. And let me tell you that $19 was amazing, right? I was like, shoot, I am improving my health, getting out of that postpartum depression funk. I was losing the baby weight. I was feeling amazing, having more energy, and someone is paying me for helping them. I was like, this is a no-brainer, right? Now, fast forward, I've been doing this for about 16 months now, and still, I just do it part-time, and $500 a month. $500. Now, there's no guarantee of any income. It all is based on, what you put into it and your effort and your skill and the time and, everything like that. But what I'm telling you is, how could that change your life? That's a lot of groceries. That's a lot of bag of apples. Those things that you feel like you can't do, you can. So that's number 3 is contribution, contributing to your family, to your finances, to your community. Helping out in your coffee shop, right? Because that's what life, we all have this little coffee shop, right? And maybe someone's coming in and they're like, I can't really do this, but you're contributing to their wellness, to them moving forward. And let me tell you, one of the greatest things that I was able to do this year is to help out a friend who was in need because of coaching. So I'm telling you, it's not always about what you can get, but what you can give back as well. So number 4, before we wrap it up here, is a purpose, right? How many of you are like, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, woo-woo. I'm going to like do all these fancy Martha Stewart things. My house is going to be fancy. Doesn't always happen that way, right? And so sometimes we feel like our purpose is, we wipe runny noses, we change diapers, and we're lucky if we get a shower. And I did take a shower today, so, you know what I mean? Where you're like, I don't know my purpose. I really had this vision when I was a teenager, when I was in my 20s, and I wanted to make a difference in the world. And now you're like, okay, I'm sitting at home with kids that are fighting, and they won't even put on clothes that fit them or look appropriate. And, and you realize, what is your purpose? Coaching has allowed me to have a purpose greater than my kids, greater than anything I ever dreamed of, greater than owning that gym that I once thought is what I wanted. Because now I get to spend all those moments with these guys. I get to be here on days when she doesn't feel good, right? And I get to be the one that is teaching them and helping them and, doing crafts with them. And I'm telling you, if the struggle for the contributing to your family is so strong and you're torn, right? You're torn because you really want to contribute, but you also really want to be with your kids. Like, that's why you had them, right? And so I'm telling you, this is going to change your life, all right? So if you want any more information, stop, please. If you want any more information on, what it is that I do on a day-to-day basis, if you want to know how to get started, it's very simple, very easy to get started. To start, working on your own health and fitness, to start, the accountability, joining the community, contributing some way of, maybe your contribution to start with is just going to be making that one healthy change a day in your family's, meals. And then a purpose. What is it that you always dreamed of? What is it, that thing that you put on the back burner because you have kids now or because finances are tight? What is that one thing that you've always wanted to do? So that's all I have for today's coffee chat. I want to thank you guys for joining, whether you're jumping on to the live recording, there was a few people on, or catching the recording. Let me know of any questions you have. Like I said, I'm really passionate about this because too often we think that, we're just stuck in that there's only one solution to losing weight, that there's only one solution to feeling better, that, the only way that you can contribute to your family is to get a 9-to-5, or maybe you think your kids only can go to public school, or there's a million ways to do it. And I want to just share with you how it is that, we do our family and how coaching has been that coffee shop. I don't know if you guys are Friends watchers, but, everyone was excited and they went there and they had a purpose and they shared, and that is what coaching is to me. And I want that to be for you as well. So shoot me a message and let's chat some more to get you started now. All right, bye.